Hi there guys, and welcome to my Skyforge beta coverage. My name is George, and today we'll be going over the next class on my list to cover in this training area of the game, where you can train pretty much every class that is in the game. So last time we did Sorcerer, and today we will be going down the line and start with Kinetic. So let's go straight to it. I will be going over some abilities first before we start with our test. So let's see what we have on this one. Still pretty much is locked, so this one has two stances. It is also damage class. The basic one is Kinetic Impulse, has 2 charge levels. Tap the key to fire a charge at the enemy that increases damage dealt to them but by fully charged stone particle by 18%. Activates Impulse Charge. Hold down the key to fire 3 charges at all affected enemies, 55% bonus damage. That is interesting. So we have a Demolition Charge. Explosive Bond. All enemies hit along the way take 80% more damage from the stone projectile. And the third one would be another Explosive Bond. And the stone projectile. Press and hold the key. Once the attack is ready, the character will inflict 66 to 138 damage to the selected enemy. So I'm guessing this is the charging ability, it's not instant. Stone projectile consumes 6 charges of kinetic pulse and gains 18% bonus to damage for each removed effect. Single stone inflicts damage to selected enemy, and stone blast inflicts 66 to 138 damage to selected enemy. So for Sledgehammer it is pretty much the same, just with without his rightmost button ability, at least not yet, because it's still locked for me. But anyway, let's go through some of these locked abilities. We have Gravity Trap. The enemy is hanging in mid-air for 5 seconds. All the kinetic attacks inflicts critical damage. If the monster cannot be lifted in the air, its damage to the kinetic is reduced by 50% for 10 seconds. And Tramping inflicts 106 to 221 damage to the enemy. Lifts enemies in 50-yard radius up in the air for 3 seconds and then smashes them against the ground. If the monster cannot be lifted in the air, its damage to the kinetic will be reduced by 50% for 6 seconds. So this is, I'm guessing, the upgrade or the other ability used in my other stance. I'm not sure we will see that. Chain Gravitation. An energy charge strikes the target enemy, dealing 39 to 82 damage, then bounces to another enemy in 5-yard radius. If there is any up to 7 bounces, activate Impulse Charge. Rockfall uses all accumulated energy to inflict up to 131 to 273 damage to the target and all enemies in 8-yard radius of it. Activates Impulse Charge. Protective Shield creates a field that absorbs 75% of incoming damage and protects from finishing strikes. The borders of Protective Shield have 2 energy centers. Destroying them will disable the field. Interesting. Stonewall creates a shield that completely absorbs all incoming damage and makes you immune to finishing blows. Well, that's actually pretty useful ability to have. The energy cost increases by 16% every second for as long as Stonewall is active, so I'm guessing this one is active as long as you have energy to spare. When you are out of energy, it will collapse probably. An neutron blast, an explosion will occur in the selected area in 2 seconds, dealing 49 to 102 damage. After 4 seconds of charging, neutron blast will inflict damage and stun the enemy who activated it for 4 seconds. The same enemy can be stunned no more than once every 24 seconds. Interesting. Collapse after 2 seconds. An explosion occurs in the selected area, dealing 61 to 127 damage. Sledgehammer replaces stun projectile. Kinetic engages in close combat, inflicting 46 by 96 damage to the enemy. Can make up to 4 attacks for the duration of the effect. Usual damage received by the kinetic is reduced by 25% and traumatic damage is reduced by 62.5% while the ability is active. Stone Spear, every other fully charged stone projectile deals 68 to 143 damage. And we have Demolition, the energy cluster fired by fully charged kinetic pulse can be detonated to inflict 106 to 21 damage to the selected enemy. So that's what we have, so let's go into it. I'm guessing I won't have to switch. So we have these 3 and we can charge it if we want, which makes things interesting. And okay, that is one cool ability. I want to see if I can move. Yeah, I can kite it with this ability, but with this one of course I can't, because it has to be charged, and this one would also have to be charged, so I would not be able to kite him. Doesn't do much damage on its own. Basically, you have to charge it if you want to produce some nice effect. Gravity zone slows enemies down and increases the movement speed of Kinetic, increases damage affected by 60% for damage. Why is this rock hovering in the air? Might be okay. Gravity ball. Kinetic is protected by a shield that moves with them, inflicts damage at the end of the run. All enemies in the way get knocked back. So let's stand like this and let's try to use that. Now that's fun. That's pretty fun. Pretty nice ability, I would have to say. Energy Wave has 3 charge levels. 1 inflicts damage and knocks the selected enemy back. 2 inflicts damage and knocks back the enemies in a corner front of the character. 3 inflicts damage to all. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I think I used the wrong one. Wrong ability. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you have to hold it. Okay. I guess I'm too far. course this will be a bit more difficult in the open world where enemies are actually moving around and stuff. But those are actually pretty interesting abilities. You can pretty much pound the shit out of the enemies with these rocks. Protective shield 7. Okay, the shields that absorbs 75% of my damage. I have to say this class actually has some pretty nice Okay, stone throw is replaced by melee strikes for the duration of the gravitational overflow. Damage dealt to the kinetic is reduced by 25%. Okay, so I have to actually activate this thing and then get in range and bash this guy away. Interesting. Turns you into a melee fighter. That's pretty interesting. Okay, let's test this out. I think we have a few more abilities, so might as well check these ones out. Okay, we have Energy Wave, knocks back the enemies in front of the Kinetic. Enhanced Pulse knocks back the enemies that are a great distance away from the Kinetic. And Energy Wave knocks the enemies around the Kinetic away from front of them. Interesting. Energy Wave has 3 charge levels, inflicts 5 to 12 damage to the selected enemy and knocks them back 15 yards once every 10 seconds. Inflicts 9 to 20 damage to enemies in cone-shaped area in front of the character and knocks them back in 15 yards for every 10 seconds, and inflicts 20 to 42 damage to enemies in a 16-yard radius and knocks them back 15 yards one every 20 seconds. Interesting. overall this is actually pretty fun class to play. Some nice abilities there, I have to say. Okay, I almost died on that one because of my foolishness. Here I go straight into the beam. Bad that shield doesn't move with you. That would be pretty useful. Okay, nice. So yeah guys, that was the Kinetic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a pretty fun class to play, I would have to say. Still requires some of the practice, I would say, but yeah, it was pretty fun. So yeah guys, that was it for now for the Kinetic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next time we will do next class, which is going to be Slayer. So I hope you guys will check that out, and yeah, I hope you guys will comment on the video, rate it up or down, share it around, subscribe and all that good stuff, and yeah, I will see you guys next time.